Now notice what he does. Let me get to the text. Watch this. What he does, he goes through Samaria and he meets a woman. Now, it's nothing strange with him meeting a woman because Jesus met a whole lot of women. Now he's not a player. I'm not saying he's a player. He met Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Him talking to a woman was not a problem. He had a lot of ladies that he talked to. The issue was she was a Samaritan woman. And Jews and Samaritans have no dealings with one another. And that's what was strange, that he was talking to a Samaritan woman. And not only was he talking to her, he asked her, give me some of that juice you're drinking. Give me some of that Kool-Aid. He didn't come with no cup. He didn't have nothing to draw it from. He had nothing to drink with. Give me something to drink. He didn't say, give me fill up my horses or give me, and let me drink. He says, I'm thirsty. Give me something to drink. I know you got a cup, you got a scoop, you got a something. Hand me something to drink. Let me put my lips where you put yours. Woo! That's deep, y'all. Jesus came into town, took his disciples away because Peter wasn't going to drink like that. John would have turned it down. Thomas would have turned around. But Jesus went in and he said, give me something. I'm going to put my Jewish lips on your Samaritan cup. Isn't that good news? Come on, amen. He said, I want something to drink. Give me something to drink. And this thing blew this lady's mind. He was willing to drink from her cup. How many of y'all be willing to drink from the cup of a different color? I mean, you'll drink from a cup. Most times family members would drink from each other. Sometimes. Depending on who it is. You got that one cousin, you're like, ain't no man. I ain't drinking. I'm going to have to go get some antibiotics. And there was a time when you were a child and children, no matter what color, no matter who they were, no matter, little children, 3, 4, 5 years old, they drink from anybody. They say, give me some. You have to stop little babies. Stop them trying to drink. When is it that we stop drinking from each other's cups? What happened to our world? What happened to us where we stopped drinking? I'm not saying you physically. No, I'm not saying physically you got to go drink from. But when is it that we stop separating and that what you have isn't good enough for me? And what I have, I can't share with you. When did we stop trusting each other so much that we now got to wipe the glass and we got to be particular about where we sip and who we eat with and where we are? There was a time when we would just fellowship with one another and we were just humans and people. When did it happen? What happened when we stopped trusting each other? Jesus was so much a man and so much comfortable in his own skin, he could drink from whoever's cup it was. And he says, woman, give me something to drink from that cup. Give me something to drink. I'm thirsty. I have a need, and I want you to meet the need. And he was willing to put his Jewish lips on her Gentile cup. Amen. Would you do that? Let me tell you a story. True story. I used to be the chaplain or the campus minister of Perimeter College over here, right? And it was only 2 of us blacks in the whole state that were campus ministers for the colleges on the state level and all the different colleges around. And they had a retreat away, and we went to this retreat. And with all of the campus ministers, they had this guy come in and teach us faith and teach us to be one and unity and all this kind of stuff. And so it was just me and Ben Lang. Some of y'all know Ben Lang. He's a pastor of Crossroads Church, a good friend of ours in Austell now. And me and Ben and all the rest of the folk white. And we're there, and they said, we're going to take communion. I said, oh, good, like we just took communion. But they didn't take it like we did. They had 1 cup and 1 piece of bread. And you're supposed to pinch off the bread and not dip the bread in the cup. I'm okay with that, because I've been in services where you pinch the bread off and you dip in the cup, and everybody, I'm all right with that. No, they want you to sip the cup, not dip the cup. And I sat there going, well, I'm faster than most of these guys. I can get there quicker. I guess I'll do it if I get to drink first. But the guy who was leading it, big old white guy, he drank first. I said, oh, Lord. He showed us, he demonstrated, as I done, you do likewise. And he took the cup and he drank it. And I was like, oh, God. And I am not going to drink this cup. I'm not going to do it. No way in the world I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden, the Spirit of God fell. Now I'm telling you, this is my story. He ain't saying you got to do this. This is me. The Spirit of God hit me heavily. He says, you're missing the whole point of the whole weekend. He says, I brought you here, and you're a part of this Southern Baptist Convention because you're supposed to make change, and you still got stuff in your heart. And I was like, but Lord, it ain't that. I just don't want the germs. I'm trying to be clean, Lord. He says, it's not that. I got you. Don't worry. Go and drink from this cup. Because as I was afraid to drink from them, there's a whole bunch of folk there from South Georgia that was sure enough scared to drink from me. And all of a sudden, the Lord just hit me, and I began to weep and cry and say, I felt such a pull for unity and the Spirit of God. I've never felt this in my life like I had that time. And it was a very spiritual moment, if you would. And I began to cry. And not only at the same moment I began to cry, all the rest of the folk were like, we would just fell out and weeping. It was amazing. The whole room was crying. It was like 40, 50 of us broke down. So I realized later that all of us, nobody was going to drink from that cup. They were like, I ain't going to do it. So the Lord had done an email to all of us and hit all of us at the same time. And we all were broken before the Lord. But I still was number 3 drinking out of that cup. Yes, I was. And I drank from the cup, and it was an awesome event to be one with those brothers. For that moment, we literally were one in communion, true communion with one another. It was a powerful moment. I'm not saying you got to go out here and start drinking out the folk. Please, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is when the Spirit calls you to drink from the color of a different cup, or drink from a cup of a different color, whatever it is, to eat at a table with somebody, to do something with somebody that's different, in a different culture, be willing to do that, because that's what God's called us to do. So what happens is Jesus, amen, takes the cup. He says, lady, give me something to drink. And she says, wait a minute, what do you, a Jew, have to do with me, a Gentile? Now, how did she know he was Jewish? She knew he was Jewish because he looked Jewish. He walked into Samaria, y'all, with Jewish clothes on. He walked with a Jewish walk. He had on his Jewish stuff. He looked like a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi. He did not stop being who he was, even though he was around her. Listen, he didn't change himself. I'm not telling you that you got to change you. Be you. Touch your neighbor and tell them, do you. Do you. Be black. Go in there with your white tee on. Go in there with yourself. Be yourself. I'm not saying you got to be the other culture. I'm not saying you got to start liking casseroles. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you got to start liking, cricket or tennis and get rid of basketball. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying be you. What I love, again, I keep talking about president, but I love the fact he's going to put a basketball goal in the White House. I like that. I like that. If Nixon can have a bowling alley, why can't Barack have a basketball goal? And if you want to hang out with the president, you're going to have to learn how to do a three-pointer. I like that. I'm the president, but I'm still black, and I like basketball. And even though I may have in the Oval Office, I am still going to be who I am. I like that. And you don't have to change who you are to be accepted by other folk. Touch somebody and say, be you, do you. Do you. Do you.